So it's been a while since I've talked about that academia, but with this video today, I'm going to be talking about every event since my last review, and my last review was prior to the end of the Stain arc, the hero killer. So let's jump into it. So for starters, the impact that the Stain arc left and Stain as a character left on the villains was absolutely fucking insane. I mean, the ending alone, I gotta say that Stain is probably, if not the greatest villain, then one of the greatest villains in all of academia. I mean, there's not really much else. There's only one other person that I would say, holy fucking shit, he's insane. He's definitely up there. But Stain in particular, the thing that makes him different from a lot of other ones is, first of all, his principles, and that's one of the things that's really focused in on the manga, is that he's not necessarily just doing this for the sake of, I'm evil. It's that he has his principles and he feels as though people should be a certain way if they're gonna be heroes. And I love the lesson and the fact that he inspired people that are villains to even be more like him is very interesting. And I feel as though, as far as handling villains in academia, Stain was one of the better written ones, because he wasn't just knocking over a drugstore or some shit like that. He had his principles and he knew the way he wanted things, and he felt the way the world needs to be regarding heroes. And I love as well that he didn't really respect any of the main heroes. Like, he was like, Endeavor, you're another fake. The only one that'll kill me is All Might. That's the only one that I'll accept. And it kind of goes back into the whole pure thing of being heroes, because you can see Endeavor, he's an asshole. His main whole goal is basically passing All Might and becoming the #1 hero by surpassing him. So the way Stain approached things is showcase that everybody isn't the same and all heroes aren't the same. Some of them do it for selfish reasons, and honestly, Stain fucking kicks so much ass. And the fact that he proved that he's not just talking out his ass at the end of his arc when he saved Deku because he felt Deku was a good example of what a hero should be, is showcase that this dude is legit. Everything that he says, he truly believes. And the way it was written, it was like Stain really was probably the climax up until that point in academia. And the fact that he went unconscious still standing on his feet definitely gave me them Whitebeard vibes, not to compare because they're two totally different characters, but I love that shit. It's like some manly, I'm standing by what I believe in and shit like that, and that was priceless as well. Not to mention we got over that whole Ida thing of Ida feeling like, oh, I gotta avenge my brother, and kind of going down that evil and sort of dark path in a way. It was like, okay, Ida grew the fuck up from this as well. So we definitely got character development, because first of all, a lot of these heroes like Deku and Todoroki and shit like that, they had to deal with some shit that they've never faced before. I mean, they had the little invasion or whatever at the school, but they had teachers with them and shit like that. They didn't have nobody. They had to pretty much do it all themselves. Kind of makes me wonder though, if Endeavor went up against the hero killer, who would have won. I think honestly Endeavor would have taken him, but he wouldn't have gone down without a fight. Then after that arc, we had the end of the semester test. The teachers pretty much had to go up against the students if they could either defeat them or survive. And let's be honest, I'm glad in that particular arc none of the students defeated the teachers, because then that would have been kind of pointless, because we still in academia feel like there's a long way to go. And I really like that, because it shows that there's a long road ahead of these characters. They're not nowhere near where they want to be or where they need to be as far as being heroes go. They still have a lot to learn. Even if they have some incredible powers or some really good strength, there's still a lot more to being a hero. It's like Todoroki, for example, amazing character, awesome powers, but he still doesn't have all that wisdom and all that experience that he needs in order to be #1 or be one of the top heroes in the world. But out of that entire exam, honestly, the one that shined the most was definitely the Deku and Bakugo versus All Might fight. It gave development yet again for those two to work together. Well, more so on Bakugo's part. I think Deku's development was kind of just getting over that hurdle of like Bakugo and kind of getting him to listen to him. Bakugo was basically, hey, I gotta stop being a stubborn asshole. I gotta cooperate sometimes. So we got development on that part, but just seeing them go up against All Might and showing the vast difference for the people that thought, hey, you know, Deku has the power, you know, he's kind of close, I'm sure, to being able. No, All Might fucking wrecked them. He toyed with them the entire time. That was absolutely priceless. And when you see that panel of All Might holding Deku, I'm like, bro, this is fucking insane. And one of the things that that arc in particular did as well is that it gave development for some of the more minor characters, not the Todorokis and stuff like that. You get some of the more minor characters where Yao Yorozu kind of getting over that inferiority complex that she had against Todoroki, that, oh, Todoroki's the best and shit like that. And kind of seeing Eraserhead being a proper teacher as well was really fucking awesome. He's like, yo, I can see your problem and you need to get over that shit. So, I mean, the only gripe I would say is that every student passed the test, and I kind of don't like that with academia. Majority of the times, everything that they go through, everybody passes, everybody gets through it. It's like, here and there, some students do need to fail and not completely everybody get through it. And it seems as though with Hero Academia, it likes to push that the entire class gets through everything together. So that's why why it focuses on characters like Mineta and stuff like that, which Mineta, he is so fucking hilarious. Even he got development, basically saying, hey, you know, I became a hero so that I can be cool, but being a hero doesn't mean you're cool. It's doing fucking the good actions and shit like that that makes you cool, and you make yourself cool. So even Mineta got some advancement, although honestly, when I see Mineta, sometimes I'm like, how did he get into UA? Like, how the fuck did he get into this school when this dude, he's a chicken shit, he's a pervert, he doesn't really have any special particular powers, he just has the stupid little balls that get stuck to people. It's like, Mineta, how did you slip through the cracks, bro? And from the beginning of the series, honestly, I thought it was gonna be the rivalry between Deku and Bakugo that was gonna be the main thing. I thought Bakugo was like the Sasuke to Deku's Naruto, but as the story progressed, especially once we start getting to the points more with Shigaraki, the dude with the hand on his face, to see when he put his hand over Deku's throat and shit like that, and they had that little conversation that was very fucking menacing and kind of showcases yet again, especially that drawing, the creep face of Shigaraki, but it showcases more his character. But honestly, I feel as though Shigaraki is pretty much the rival to Deku, and we didn't even know it this entire time. When we first see him, we just think, who's this fucking villain? Like, you know, he didn't seem like anything special, but as the series progressed and it started to unravel, it seemed like Bakugo was more so an ally that kind of, you know, just was a badass and had a bad attitude and shit like that, opposed to Shigaraki feeling like he's the opposite side of the coin. If Deku is the upstart that's going to take the hero world by storm, Shigaraki is the upstart that's going to take the villain and horrible things of the world by storm. Like, you would have thought that, oh, the final villain would probably be Bakugo or Todoroki. They would go like rogue, kind of like, again, a lot of people expected that they would become villains and shit like that, and that could still very well happen. But honestly, I feel as though the main villain truly is going to be, especially as we went through some of these arcs, it's going to be Shigaraki. I think he's truly going to be the end-all be-all, the Joker to Deku's Batman. Then we went into the kidnap Bakugo arc where, yeah, again, the students, and I feel as though this is why UA has a lot of the edge over the other classrooms, because they're constantly going through some shit. Obviously, it's convenient for the plot, but nonetheless, they go through a lot of shit. And this Rescue Bakugo arc where they were basically kidnapping him and shit like that is showcased as well, because a lot of people for a long time were saying he was basically Sasuke, like, oh, the bad attitude, blah, 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 blah. This arc is showcased a very different side of him. It's showcased that he does look up to All Might, and he used to be just like Deku, but it's just that people change. And even though he still looks up to All Might and he still wants to be a hero, like he told them thousands of times pretty much, fuck you, I'm not joining you motherfuckers. And I think that's the great separation from that archetype of like, oh, he went bad, he went rogue and shit like that. No, he really is a hero, he's just an asshole and he needs a lot of growing up to do. But the pinnacle of everything that I've read in academia thus far, the All for One versus All Might fight, hands down, that was absolutely the best moment in the manga. I don't think anything else in the manga. I mean, the Hero Killer Stain arc, that was pretty dope. This arc was 10 times that, because first of all, it was a clashing of ideals. It was showcasing as well that heroism will always be in this world, and it needed to represent something strong so the world can continue to believe in heroes. And All Might versus him, I love the dynamics of their relationship when One for All continues to try and get in All Might's head, talking shit about the sensei and finding out everything that he's behind. I mean, honestly, this arc between the fights, the mental battle, and everything about it, it was absolutely phenomenal. And the revelation, it's weird because One for All, he has similar ideals in a way. It's just the opposite side of the spectrum regarding All Might. Like All Might, you know, he cares for his students, he takes care of them. One for All, it's in his own twisted way he cares to mold his students. Like one of the things that he kept on going about was Shigaraki. He kept on like, Shigaraki, learn, look, watch, you know, get away, I want you to become the next big thing as far as villains go. So you could definitely see that even though he's evil, he has similar ways of teaching and similar methods as All Might. But oh my gosh, One for All fucking wiping out half a fucking city, just like blowing up building after building, Mount Lady getting wrecked, like hands down, One for All, probably the best moments in academia thus far. When that gets animated, I can honestly see a huge boom happening for academia and popularity. I mean, it's already kind of popular. I think that moment right there and that fight right there is going to get a lot of the action heads in. It's going to get a lot of people with the feels in, because the revelation, because one of the secrets is always like, you know, All Might, Superman, and then he has his Clark Kent form. Nobody wants to look up to Clark Kent. Everybody wants Superman. But when you see All Might shriveled up in the middle of the city, everybody watching him in his fight against One For All, it made me feel like, oh no, that's a secret. How is people gonna see this? No, like, it really had me going, and I honestly think that, again, best moments in academia. But a big question amongst all that is, do you guys feel as though All Might should have died in that fight? Personally, I'm conflicted because on one hand, it would have been very impactful. I think it would have helped to develop Deku as a character in certain regards, that he can't keep on looking up to this guy anymore. He has to move on. But then on the other side, it's like, he represents such a strong symbol of justice that he had to survive, because the world needed to see that heroes, no matter what they go through, no matter what they look like, they can still prevail. And also at the same time, it showcased Deku that his time is up. He has to keep on going, but he still has the love and support from a sensei. So I'm kind of torn, to be honest with you. More so, I like the way it was done because it was different. It wasn't like, you know, third Hokage's death and shit like that. It was basically, in a sense, the death of that era. The All Might era is over, but it's the beginning of a new, and this is the time I think it was huge development regardless for Deku, that he can't keep on anymore living in the shadow of All Might. He has to prevail. He has to continue to thrive and grow. And of course, the revelation about Shigaraki's true nature, that he was All Might's teacher's grandson, and everything about One For All. Like, I would love to see One For All at some given point come back, maybe him and the Hero Killer, because those are hands down the two best villains, and Shigaraki has a long way to go to make me feel how I felt for that One For All fight. But I could truly see the ending fight of Academia being Deku versus Shigaraki in a similar fashion to All Might versus One For All. Don't forget that United States of Smash. That shit was epic, son. I need to see that animated. But now it's been probably over 10 chapters since that fight. We've had small progression, kind of a little bit more training and development, and we're currently in another sort of exam as well. So overall, Academia, it does have some of its lows when it's kind of constantly going into every little detail. Sometimes it gets a little bit strenuous to kind of keep up with it, but as a whole, Academia, absolutely phenomenal. Definitely had a very fucking awesome ride. If I had to rank it, because I'm going to be doing these catch-up videos, I would say honestly this was an awesome ride. Very, very few lows. Honestly, the highs, like One For All, the Hero Killer, the exam with All Might versus Deku and Bakugo, all phenomenal stuff. Very well written shonen, and I really hope it continues to get even better, because some of the highs have been phenomenal. If it can top that, then Hero Academia is going some big places. But let me know what you guys think. If you've been following the Hero Academia manga, favorite moments, who you think was the best villain we've had thus far. Was it One For All? Was it Stain? Was it one of the other characters? And how do you feel regarding my whole thought process in regards to Shigaraki becoming the main villain and basically being the One For All, the Joker to Deku's All Might and Batman? And your overall thoughts of Academia thus far? Yes, people, I am caught up as far as reviews go. We'll see what happens, because I have something in store, and you'll see very shortly, probably within the coming weeks. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.